Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. At the making of this video, it's the day of the 2016 NBA Draft. So I decided for fun I would do the 2010 NBA Draft, redrafting these players. And this draft class definitely was a really good one. Like, a lot of great players came from this draft. And I think the best part about this one was that there was a lot of players that nobody really sought out, and they just kind of went into this league, and man, they were balling out there, man. So I always respect a player has a little chip on his shoulder and turns out to be a great player, man. Like Hassan Whiteside. I mean, Eric Bledsoe went 18 overall in this draft. You know, it's players like that. So, as always, guys, we have the top 10 picks in this draft, and we are simply going to redraft the players based off what we know now and kind of a mix of what the roster was at the time, man. I mean, there's not really a strategy to it. I'll just kind of go with the flow, man. So, let's go ahead and start this draft. 2010 NBA draft class. And the Washington Wizards had the first pick in this draft. So as you guys can see, we got some trade offers. Gonna decline every single one of them, man. I ain't here to make trades. Washington Wizards with the #1 pick. And their roster at the time was looking like Gilbert Arenas. Now, this was, I believe, towards the decline of his career, man, like when he whipped out guns in the locker room and stuff like that. And besides for that, I mean, Andre Bloch was, he was alright, man. Didn't really do much with his career. Randy Foye, no more than a good, good role player. JaVale McGee acting the fool. Yeah, I don't think Zydrunas Ilgauskas was on this team, so I think that's kind of an L right there. Josh Howard, I actually was a big fan of Josh Howard, man. Like, he had injuries and stuff, and that kind of, that really sucked and whatnot, but I was a big Josh Howard fan. But there's a player that I'm going to be taking here, man. As you see, they got a point guard, they got a shooting guard. Nick Young's fine and everything. Josh Howard's fine, but there's a small forward from this draft class. That's a straight-up baller, man. Straight-up baller, and that goes by the name of Paul George. Yes, he had that horrible leg injury. Besides for that, man, that dude was putting up MVP numbers, and then he bounced back after the leg injury, and he's still putting up MVP numbers. So no doubt, with the first pick in the 2010 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Paul George. And low-key, guys, this is kind of embarrassing, but for a long time, I thought Swaggy P was Paul George's nickname. Like, there was a few old Crispy Flakes videos where I refer to this guy as Swaggy P, because P for Paul, and Nick Young never really made sense to me. But okay, #2 pick went to the Philadelphia 76ers, in which they took Evan Turner, man. And I remember Evan Turner on Ohio State freaking hitting a game winner against my Michigan Wolverines. Damn, I remember that, man. I was so pissed. But I don't really think he's up to that #2 hype. Looking at this team, they have Andre Iguodala, Elton Brand, Lou Williams, young point guard Drew Holiday. Not a lot going on here. I mean, not a bad team. It's definitely a lot better than they look now. But I really don't see a good inside presence. Yes, Elton Brand's fine, but I see him more as a power forward if you ask me. So, there was a center from Kentucky that I'll be taking with this #2 pick. You guys can already guess it, I'm sure. And he goes by the name of DeMarcus Cousins, wherever he's at. DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus is such a skilled player, man, and if he could kind of get his attitude in check, I think he could be even better. You know, I can't imagine a DeMarcus Cousins with like a Tim Duncan attitude. Like, man, he would be a GOAT. He'd be one of the GOATs at least. All right, #3 we have currently the Brooklyn Nets, but at this time the New Jersey Nets, and they took Derek Favors, pardon my language, with this pick. And this team, you know, Devin Harris, Brook Lopez, I almost said Robin. By the way, Bulls, you got Robin Lopez now for Derrick Rose. No, you're probably not too happy about that. Yo, Jarvis Hayes, this dude was a freaking beast, man. I remember him on the Pistons back in the day. This dude could hit some threes. I remember he had like 8 in one game. But not really a lot going on here. So, I'm going to take a point guard. Yes, Devin Harris, you're fine and everything, but you're not as good as the point guard I will be selecting here. And another player from Kentucky. This draft had a lot of Kentucky players from it. And a player who's, you know, he's definitely a top point guard in the league. John Wall, of course. But in the Washington Wizards are fine, but I still think there's room for improvement for this guy as a player. I'm a big fan of his. I think he does a lot of good stuff out on the court, but I think he could be even better on the court, assuming, you know, he's built around and whatnot. And then, okay, so after this, things get a little bit, little foggy here, man. There's a lot of great players that we can select for these next upcoming picks. You be the judge on where you think they should go. #4, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, and their team. They got Al Jefferson, Kevin Love, who was young at this time, who turned out to be a great player for the Timberwolves. They got an L right here, man. An L in Johnny Flynn and an L Ricky Rubio. This dude could have been Stephen Curry. So, we ain't going to make that mistake again. We actually going to take another point guard. You might know him as Mini LeBron James. I think that's what his nickname is. Phoenix Suns have definitely a good young point guard right here. Was originally on the Clippers and, you know, ended up on the Suns and whatnot, and that's Eric Bledsoe. Had a few injuries in his career thus far, but I'm definitely a big fan of his also. I think he's, you know, I think the Suns are really in a good place, especially like Devin Booker out there and Brandon Knight. I mean, Brandon Knight always gonna dunk down and stuff, but he's still a good player. So I think that Eric Bledsoe, I think based off his skill and the potential of the player he can still be, deserves that number 4 spot. Number 5, we have the Sacramento Kings. At this time, they took DeMarcus Cousins, man. DeMarcus Cousins went after Wesley Johnson, my God, and Evan Turner. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. It's just like hindsight, man. You look at it, you're like, what were teams thinking? But hey, it's what we know now, right? So looking at the Kings here, they have Tyreke Evans, who's a solid player. Besides for that, though, not really much of an inside presence. So I definitely am going to get them a shot blocker out there, and a player who went number 33 in this draft, definitely a late bloomer, on the Miami Heat. And that goes by the name of Hassan. This dude spelled the name wrong, man. It's 2 S's right there, man. It's Hassan Whiteside. 2 S's, A-S-S, like the swear word. Great player though, man. He don't play like ass. He plays like a great player, man. It's, you know, shot blocker, just a real high energy guy. And really happy to see him kind of, like I say, he's a late bloomer, but happy to see him, you know, develop into the player he's become in the league today. That's all that matters, right? It's like what you do today, not what happened yesterday. All right, number 6, we have the Golden State Warriors, man. The Golden State Warriors. Looking at this team, they got this no-name dude. They drafted Stephen Curry. Yeah, that's like a no-name right there. You don't know much about him. Monte Ellis is fine. I'm just joking, guys. We all know Stephen Curry is like such a good player. But really, this team doesn't have a lot going on with it. You know, like it really makes you think about where that team was and what it's become and kind of the management there. And I have them taking an inside player. I had a tough time with this one. You know, there's still 4 really good players out there that, like I said, can go any order. So, you know, don't take it personally, man. I will allow you guys to take it personally, but try not to. And I have them taking Derek Favors, who actually is like an 85 overall in 2K, so he's definitely coming to his own. I think he's like a 2010 type of guy, and he's still young. Like, I'm a big Derek Favors fan, so he's a good young player, 6'10". I don't think he's as good as Draymond Green, of course, who they ended up taking later on, but definitely a good serviceable player out there. Yeah, I was kind of deciding between him and Gordon Hayward, to be honest. I really couldn't decide. But okay, but they needed an inside player, that's why I went with him. Number 7, we have my Detroit Pistons, who at this time took Greg Monroe. And trust me, guys, Greg Monroe is still there. But knowing what I know now, I don't want this son of a bitch near my team. So I'm not taking him. Now look at this team right here, man. This team was a freaking mess, man. They signed Ben Gordon's whack ass and Charlie Villanueva to all that freaking money, man. All that money, man. It don't matter who I pick here, man. Whoever I get is not going to fix this anyway. Tayshaun Prince is still a good player at this time, but I'm actually going to take, with the number 7 pick overall, I could have went with a big guy. I probably should take Greg Monroe, damn it. I wish Hassan Whiteside or Derek Favors was still here, but it just made sense for them to go to those other teams. Man, I should just take Monroe and just keep it realistic, but I'm not going to, man. I'm taking Gordon Hayward. Because I like Gordon Hayward better. I think he's a better player than Monroe. I think Monroe is a stat stuffer on poor teams. You look at my Pistons, stat stuffer, did bad. Lost them, made the playoffs. Went to the Bucks. Bucks started doing bad, didn't make playoffs. Stat stuffer. So, that's just my thoughts on that. A little bit of a rage right there, man. I'm kind of going off on him. I'm being a little disrespectful, but he makes a lot of money, so it's fine. I can be a hater. I can be a hater every now and then. Alright, number 8, we have the Los Angeles Clippers. Looking at their team, at this time, they took Al-Farouq Aminu, who's turned out to be a pretty good player, man. Like, it took him a little while, but he's still pretty good out there. Not who I'll be taking here. On this team, they have Blake Griffin, Chris Kaman, they got DeAndre Jordan, who was really young, Eric Gordon, really young. But I have them actually taking another guard, and to me, one of the best two-way guards, offensively and defensively, in this league. Especially what he does on the Boston Celtics there. He goes by the name of Avery Bradley. And I think he'd be a good fit on this team. Especially now, like alongside Chris Paul, I think he'd be a great fit right there. And I think he's earned that spot to be number 8 overall. I mean, sure. They already got Blake Griffin, so Greg Monroe didn't really make much sense. I mean, Evan Turner's fine. Larry Sanders don't want to play basketball no more. And it just makes the most sense, I think, Avery Bradley. Really, Avery probably could have went higher, too. Yes, we have Avery Bradley going, number 8. All right, number 9, we have the Utah Jazz, who actually got this pick from the New York Knicks in some way, shape, or form of some type of trade. At this time, they took Gordon Hayward with that pick, who's no longer there. And eventually they ended up getting Derek Favors in like a trade a few years down the road. So let's go ahead and check out this team here if 2K wants to hurry up. And Jazz are on the clock. Alright, they got Darren Williams, my apologies. Carlos Boozer, Paul Millsap, Andre Kirilenko. So my mindset right here is to go with a power forward who can actually play the center position. He actually does play center now, but he was power forward on my Detroit Pistons alongside Andre Drummond. And that's Greg Monroe. You know, honestly, you know, time to not be a total hater right there. He puts up good numbers. You know, he puts up good numbers. He can score the basketball. I just think that his type of player that he is kind of taking a step backwards with the type of NBA we have today. Definitely a small ball league, and I don't think he's powerful enough to play a center position. I guess he could, but I don't know. I think he'd be fine on this team. I guess he could play center. He's not really going to be throwing no shots back, please believe. All right, number 10, we have the Indiana Pacers, who got a steal in this draft with Paul George. He got a steal with that pick, man. And really, I look at the players that are left here and not really any great players left. But there's a player that I thought was kind of interesting, kind of intriguing to bring into this team, and another player who really is just an underdog story. And he really is playing good on the Charlotte Hornets. He's really playing good as that backup point guard position, and he goes by the name of... Yo, where's he at, man? He better be on this list. I'm going to be pissed if he's not. Come on, man. Don't give me this L. I know he's on here. Yo, we got some hate, man. We got... Oh. Nope. Oh, my life. Oh. Jeremy Lin. I'm looking for Jeremy Lin, if you guys are wondering. Jeremy Lin was drafted here. So, since he's not on here, we are going to make up a player. Hello. Let's go with Benjamin Lynch, also known as Jeremy Lin, with the number 10 pick. So, with the number 10 pick, don't pay attention, guys. That's Jeremy Lin. Make yourself believe. You can do it. Jeremy Lynch. Lynch sounds the same. Okay, guys, anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit that like button, and be sure to let me know your other draft suggestions in the comment section below. And peace out, my friends.